Everybody ready? Here we go. Call to order the regular meeting of Independent School District 695, which is in Minnesota. Lisa, could you take roll call, please?
Director Rhonda Sauter.
Here.
Director Karina Simon.
Here.
Director Lappy.
Here.
Director Raha.
Here.
Chair Casey.
Here, and please make note the superintendent was unable to join us this evening. We'll skip right to approving the agenda.
I'll motion approval.
Motion by Director Raha,
Support.
support by Director Lappy. Any discussion? There is no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, we'll get right to our reports. We've got Paul Peltier, our Rams director, is going to give a short presentation talk on Rams to us. If you recall, we just put Director Raha back on the board of Rams. So, Mr. Peltier, I want to say Pelletier, but it's Peltier, correct?
I'll answer to anything, Mr. Chair.
The show is yours.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. My name is Paul Peltier. I'm the Executive Director of RAMS, which is the Range Association of Municipalities and Schools. We serve 69 local units of government, all within the Taconite Assistance area. You might know that as the IRRB area of the Iron Range here. So cities, townships, school districts. That's the big picture for us. And our laser focus is on any and all issues that are important to areas affected by mining. And that is where we get our start back in 1939 with Fred Chena and the crew of Iron Range mayors who decided to push back against the Oliver Mining Company taking local wealth and leaving us high and dry. If you look at all the paintings in the Getty Museum, that was basically paid for with mining money back in the day. And so these people were at the forefront of keeping local wealth where it was generated, and that continues through this day, through the Red Ore days, all the way to Taconite and now into the future. Resources are where a lot of our wealth comes from, and so we're interested in tax policy on that. But I want to talk to you about the important work that we're doing for schools. I myself am a 15-year band and choir teacher. And how did I become the director of RAMS? Well, you stay engaged in politics and education and local government, and then you can get to do something like that too in your future. But we have 15 school districts that are our members in RAMS on the education side, and our board contains 24 local elected officials, and they're made up of elected officials from lots of different units of government, all across the geographical distribution of the Taconite Assistance area. I've shared with your superintendent a digital copy of the physical map you see in front of you. I call this affectionately the placemat because you could spill on it and you could never stain it. Okay? If you take a Sharpie to it, as my 4-year-old does, you will definitely make some marks, but you can have that, put that up and refer back to it because this is where we find ourselves. This is the place that we call home, and this is the place that we've chosen to live. And so when you look at this, you can tell a story based on who's in and who's there, right? So you can see all the little townships, all the larger cities, and the biggest municipal boundaries are the school districts. So you're in the Taconite Assistance area according to legislation. RAMS is established in the Minnesota set of statutes in 471. And so we're actually a local unit of government. We're our own little thing in and of themselves. We're pretty unique in that regard. We don't have any taxing authority, but we do have, we receive benefit from taconite production tax, which as you know is money that mining companies pay in lieu of property taxes. And for the school district in Chisholm, a large amount of your unencumbered financial dollars come from taconite production taxes, as it should, because that's our local dollars staying local. Now, we also pay a portion of taxes called the occupation tax to the state general fund. That is kind of our contribution to the state general levy. But when it comes to matters that are important to our area, one of the most important things to realize is that we're not in it alone. When you realize that there's 69 local units of government working in the same direction for the good of the whole Iron Range area, that should give you a little bit of hope that you're not in alone too. So if you know something that maybe a school board director in Mount Iron Buell or Virginia or Grand Rapids or Aiken or Crosby or Two Harbors needs to know, you've got a network that you might not know you have right now. Okay, so I work with the superintendents, with your superintendent, as well as one of your school board members who sits on the RAMS board to talk about things that are really impactful for our region. Some of the things that we do And some of the really important legislative priorities that we have to do with school things, that have to do with allowable uses of funds, to increase some of the really bottom line bare bones things that you need to survive. Local governments, like municipalities, have like LGA, right? You've got equalization, you've got general fund dollars. So those are things that we go after, and we try and make sure that with our lobbyists who we hire, that our needs are represented well at the Minnesota State Capitol. And then my work primarily centers on our work inside the taconite assistance area. I also go down to St. Paul to build bridges and relationships, because you know what happens sometimes? The people that make decisions about where we live don't always live here. So that's really important for us to tell our story across state boundaries and across our regional community boundaries. So I want to go back to some of the things that we're working on for schools right now. We know that attendance is an issue. Your school district has benefited from receiving money for an attendance pilot. My hope is that that money is being put to good use and that you're having a positive experience with it, and that it will continue for the 3-year term, and then you'll have something to reflect on after that, right? There were 2 school districts in the TAA that received those compensatory dollars, and I'm happy to say that I was one of the people who made the formula happen. So we had got to have input because we have relationships, and when legislators at the statewide level from not here call and they say, what should we do to help the range? I'm there to pick up the phone and help answer that question for them. We work closely with the entire range delegation, both Republicans and DFLers, because we are a nonpartisan organization. We're not ignorant of politics. We know how things move. We know what levers to pull at the right time, but we also know that it takes everybody, especially our range delegation, to have a strong voice down at the Capitol. So we work very closely with them. I am currently personally a member of the Permanent School Fund Committee. You might be aware of the school trust lands and the endowment created therefrom. 85% of the dollars in the state school trust land account came from our area. They're mining revenue. So people say, oh, Greater Minnesota doesn't pay their fair share. You Iron Rangers, you're just takers. You have a very strong reason to point to that thing and say, hey, guess what, Anoka Hennepin? You get $2.3 million every year generated from mining money. You never have to ask for it. I haven't gotten a thank you card yet, but I imagine someday I might get a Christmas card from them, okay? All that being said, we're engaging in a very interesting process right now through the Permanent School Fund Distributions Committee, on which I sit, and I'll be going down there on Wednesday. And we're deciding, how does that formula change? My big angle is, how can it also benefit the area that generates the wealth for us? Should we have an increased distribution? What would that look like? Who's left out? What would be a just solution to that? We know that local operating revenue is an interesting topic. We have our near budget time in our school board discussions with our communities. So we're pushing for higher levels of local operating authority, as well as compensatory aid buckets for funded and unfunded mandates that you have to deal with as school boards. We know that there's a lot of encumbered dollars right now. And while some of this may be work that should be done anyways, it is not funded to the extent that it needs to be right now. And therefore, we need to have a hard conversation about what that looks like. And so with our education partners at the state level, we are trying to determine what the best path forward is. And often that means a tricky conversation. And so RAMS is often at the center of some tricky conversations, but you have to have context, nuance, and discernment in order to navigate those well, and it takes a lot of relationships. And so you might think, wow, you sound really busy. I am really busy, and I really, really love this work, because it's a place that I was born in Hibbing. My dad worked at HibTac for 32 years. He drove 55 miles for that many years to put a roof over our head. This whole region gave me everything, and now this is my turn, and this is what paying it back looks like. And when I get to come to the school, it's always a bonus, because I'm a school person till I die. I really do think that once you're a teacher, you never really stop being a teacher. I do get to teach people a lot about the Iron Range. I get to teach people who do not live here what this is all about. There are places across Minnesota that think we don't do any mining anymore. Believe it or not, they don't understand that. They don't know it. They don't know their own Minnesota history. And so being an ambassador for that, kind of a jolly warrior with them, is kind of also part of that charge as well. We're focused on EMS. We're focused on regulatory reform for permitting reform. That means we get to work with lots of different stakeholders, whether it's the Minnesota Chamber, our local chambers of commerce, whether it's establishing the Office of Emergency Medical Services, which is a brand new state level agency this year. We worked closely with members of the range delegation on the EMS task force to establish criteria for what eventually became the bills that delivered a bunch of state aid to our region, over close to $6 million. It was over $5 million. And I know that Chisholm Ambulance Service received a large chunk of that as well. So we also know that any and all investment we can drive to the region helps with tax tolerance. It helps with easing the tax burden generally upon all taxpayers. And what that ultimately means is good decisions are possible for schools. It gives you a chance at a better conversation. No matter what your needs are, hopefully we can contribute in a positive way to that. One of the things that is really important about my presence here today is to share a little bit with you about RAMS, about the role of some of those production tax dollars and what we do and why we matter, but also most importantly, to ask you what can RAMS do and what can I do to be helpful to the school board at Chisholm? And what do I need to know in order to be effective in my job? What can I do to be helpful for you? And I hope to engage you in a productive conversation for a short time during your busy day.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know this might be later on in your presentation, but the helium gas project.
Okay.
Can you explain where that's at and what RAMS's role in and what we're trying to do there and where that is gonna be spread?
So as you know, or maybe you don't know, helium was discovered near Babbitt in the rock formation. And we sit in a unique geological space in the country and frankly the world, because we don't have oil and natural gas production in Minnesota. We don't have oil shale. Now, I used to live out in Western North Dakota. I met my wife out there. Her father had a law practice. I said, "Who's the cute secretary?" And he sheepishly said, "That's my daughter." So he did a lot of oil and gas work out in Western North Dakota. So they have different land over there. We have something slightly different here. We have copper nickel deposits. We have helium deposits. It looks like we also have coincidental hydrogen and carbon dioxide. You wouldn't think that carbon dioxide is an asset, but it is. And so capturing a lot of these coincidental gases is a real thing. Currently, Minnesota has a moratorium on the production of gases. So that means if no legislation changes, we can't beneficiate any of those resource bodies. So it means this year, and if nothing happens this year, nothing will happen until the end of next year too, we will be taking a look at temporary rules and transitioning those to permanent rules that allow for the mining and production of helium near Babbitt and surrounding areas. Now that straddles both Lake and St. Louis counties. And so there's an interjurisdictional question to address as well. And the DNR is involved in PCA, the Minnesota Department of Health. This is a situation where we've never done this before. So what do? RAMS and our communities have provided a lot of money to a lot of communities through the production tax. The production tax has benefited everybody in the taconite assistance area, whether you are a producing community or not, because at one time everybody produced something. And most importantly, we all produce the workers that make this world go round. There's a kind of a worker classification study that is done by DEED about how many people leave whatever county and go somewhere else for work. There's like 8,000 people that leave Itasca County to come here for work. There's like 6,000 people that leave this county to go over there for work. It's a myth that these arbitrary lines aren't a part of a larger dysfunctional family. And I say that kind of tongue in cheek because the Iron Range is only made up of 155,000 people. It's a big 13,000 square mile landmass. You look around Maple Grove, any two random suburbs, they got us beat both in net tax capacity and voting rights. So what do we have to do? We have to band together, we have to work together. Otherwise, I'd rather be at the table, actually in the kitchen, than on the menu. I'd rather be cooking the meal than anything else. So in terms of understanding where helium and that gas goes, we have a presentation coming this Thursday to our RAMS board to educate them on what the GTAC, the Gas Technical Advisory Committee, is recommending to the legislature. And RAMS submitted some comments saying that communities should be involved in this process. And as a result of that, we are now involved, which is actually really great because the DNR has been a good partner in this for us. They've been having an open door policy, they bring us in on certain items, and they share their knowledge with us so that we can, as elected officials, make good decisions for the benefit of the region. So ultimately decisions around, will this be looped into the production tax? What will the royalty structure be like? Who will benefit? How will communities be able to make the most of this moment? That will rest with our legislators and our local elected officials. And we play an important role in forming that conversation. So hopefully that answers your question.
It does. Okay, the next, thing. Where's, okay,
No, go ahead.
are you sure?
Yep.
Cause I'd like to know. Polymed Twin Metals, okay, they're just standing there. Status is what? Where, do you know where it's at?
As far as,
Opening up and getting going.
well, we don't know, the short answer is we don't know yet around other resource beneficiation. And it's important to remember that that the New Range project, formerly Polymed, now New Range, they were issued their permits and those permits were revoked. So they did receive their permits to operate, okay? There's currently a ban on a mineral withdrawal, technically called, in the Rainy River watershed, so that you can't do any resource beneficiation like that within the Rainy River watershed. My predecessor, Ida Rukavina, now Commissioner of IRRB, she went out to Washington to testify against that provision when it happened, the mineral withdrawal, testifying that it shouldn't be there and be allowed to beneficiate those ore bodies. And so we carry on that proud legacy of supporting lots of different types of mineral beneficiation, whether it's oil, whether it's natural gas, whether it's copper, nickel, because we know that mineral extractive economy like we have to use it as a bridge to lots of other things. And it's a source in and of itself as well. It's a viable career for lots of people. And many of our communities are waiting a really long time to have this happen. Now think if you've got a decades-long dental practice in Aurora, White Lakes. You've been waiting 20-some years for something to happen. That's preventing other economic opportunities for people to move forward. So if and when, and I like to say when, New Range and Twin Metals are allowed to operate, it will be a net benefit for the region because that will roughly triple the size of the school trust land account. Go from 2.1 billion to roughly $6 billion. And imagine the benefit for schools. You take whatever you get and multiply it by 3 every year. And then in addition to net tax capacity increases and spin-off jobs and surrounding things. So this is a large conversation organization. RAMS gets to tackle all the things, which is both dangerous and awesome at the same time. Dangerous in that you could go down any rabbit hole, and awesome in that you get to kind of find things that turn your crank when you're involved with organization. And as one of 24 members on the board, Mr. Raha, it's nice to have an asset in every community across the Taconite Assistance Area, because as busy as I am, I can't be everywhere. It's nice to be able to pick up the phone and ask, how's Chisholm doing today? So.
I do have a couple of questions, and Paul, I commend you on this map. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there have been some additions on here compared to about 20 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
There were some school districts and municipalities that were not members of RAMS that resided within the TRA. But my question is, and I get this all the time, is what does RAMS do that our local representatives don't do? I mean, you work with them, but they're supposed to be working also for that. Is RAMS's role to get them all together on the same page? Do you act like mediators?
That's a great question, Mr. Chair. RAMS's role is defined in our Constitution and bylaws. And I'm going to refer them because I don't have all 11 points memorized.
Get out. No,
Spoken like a true FIED teacher. All right, there you go. Go do laps, Deltier. Wouldn't be the first time I heard that one. When we're functioning at our best, RAMS is an organization made up of really strong bricks. Our board members, our communities, all working together, understanding where we find ourselves. RAMS is not in competition with MSBA, League of Minnesota Cities, Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities. We're the only organization that's laser focused on the Taconite Assistance Area. And as such, we sit in a place of pride that we are of this place, from this place, and for this place. No one else can say that. And actually, we're the only ones that actually do that, okay? So when it comes to working with our local representatives, whether it's a senator or a House of Representatives person, we're there to help remind them to be their best selves. Like, remember, no matter what your party, whether it's a DFL or independent or Republican, you're range first. Above all else, that's the goal of RAMS, is to connect all levels of local government to one another so that we have an informed conversation and make a good decision, no matter what your stripe is or what your bent is or what your priorities are. So that housing as an issue cuts across all municipal boundaries. We know that people need to have education on certain items, so we raise issues up. And those points come directly from our members and from our board members as well. And so we're a lobbying organization. We're a membership club. We're the Taconite Assistance Area local government units working together, right? So it's a unique system, and I'm proud that it's our system, because I've had people come from all parts, from Southwest Minnesota and farm country, and say, we could never do what you guys do. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, well, we fight amongst each other all the time. I'm like, yeah, we do that. We do that too. But in the end, we realized that we're stronger together, and we would get torn apart if Chisholm went alone.
Right,
If Wywabic went alone.
and you just answered my question, you know, you had mentioned coalition of
Yeah.
city,
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the acronym.
Yep.
But the League of Minnesota Cities and things like that, and I was going to ask if there are any other organizations like Rams throughout the state, but you had answered that and said.
And to be clear, we're proud to partner with MREA, with
Right.
Darren Strossel, with Sam Walseth. We work on a very close basis. Like on seasonal rec tax-based replacement aid for those areas that have school districts that have large tax offsets due to seasonal recreational. You would often refer to those as cabin homes or second homes or something like that. If you were to have an operating levy, they wouldn't be paying into your levy. They'd go down to the business levy at the state general fund. We have a bill in with our legislators that would correct that and allow anyone in greater Minnesota and anywhere else here too, that if you had an operating levy, it would basically buy down the cost and return that money back to the district where it's generated. Currently, it's going to the state general fund. It should stay home. If you're gonna pass a referendum and a levy, why not have an easier conversation with your voters about that? Make it an easy maybe, or an easy, yeah, we'll talk about it. Not an easy yes, that's never an easy question. But give yourselves a chance at a reasonable conversation. Those are the kinds of incremental things that we look at. It's not really sexy to talk about tax policy, but guess what? You're kind of in that role. You're kind of in that world. I think you guys get it. And sharing that story is one of the things that we do well. We're always value added, to your point earlier about what do you do that no one else does and why do we care about it, right? Well, I think most people want someone who's excited to have their back, and not just excited like, oh, nice, good for you. I hope you have fun with that. No, outcome driven. We are always about outcomes. And I can say that whether it's bonding, and really municipal bonding is huge for us, because if these projects don't happen now, they're gonna get more expensive next year. And so Rams is a strong proponent for municipal bonding. And yes, it's borrowing, but we don't have any other way to get projects done. Do highway projects get done? I mean, the legacy of Jim Oberstar is one to look to within the city of Chisholm as well. And how much investment has been driven through bonding and through regional investment like that.
Any other questions for Mr. Peltier? We appreciate your time.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate that as well.
Importantly, we appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to do this work. And I just want to let you know that if you don't already have my phone number, it is 218-431-1317. Any of you can call me anytime on any issue. My phone is always on. I might not pick up right away, but I'll certainly take your call. And obviously you can work through your chair or Mr. Raha, who's on our board, but any of you can feel free to ring me up on any issue. And he might not want you to go through him. He might be like, leave me alone, I want to sleep. Who knows?
Listen, I know where his office is, I'll find him.
There you go. That's right. He'll track me down in the Northeast Service
That's right.
Cooperative. And if it's all right with you, I'll stay through the end of the meeting, kind of listen to how things are. It gives me a good sense of what the conversation today looks like in Chisholm. And at the end, if we could snag a picture together for my newsletter, I'd be more than grateful. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving along, item number 6, approving the consent agenda. These are the minutes of the February 10th, 2025 regular meeting.
Motion. I'll support.
Motion by Director Crowdy Simon, support by Director Rhonda Sauter. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 7. 7A, actually. Motion to accept the resignation of Jaden Jarmer from job number 258, transportation foreman, and job number 227, Key Club advisor, effective February 28th, 2025.
So made.
Motion by Director Lappy,
I'll support.
support by Director Crowdy Simon. Any discussion? I'd just like to add, we'd like to thank Jaden for her time here and the efforts that she had put in. She's going on to bigger and better things. And hopefully at our next meeting, we'll have some answers as to what we're gonna do with that position. I believe all of you have read some of the information from the superintendent, so hopefully we'll move on from there. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 7B, motion to accept the resignation of Alyssa Ostrander from job number 288, paraprofessional, elementary school, effective February 17th, 2025.
So made.
Motion by Director Crowdy Simon,
Support.
support by Director Lappy. Any discussion? Again, we'd like to thank Ms. Ostrander for her time and efforts within our school district. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7C, motion to accept the resignation of Brian Hake, Principal High School, effective June 30th, 2025.
I'll motion.
Motion by Director Raha,
I'll support.
support by Director Randa Sauter. Any discussion? I'm sure we'll be having plenty of discussion on this issue in upcoming meetings. And Mr. Hake is willing to help out as much as he can during his final few months here. Again, I'd like to thank him. He's done a nice job for us.
Really nice job. Yes.
So, but he is going on to bigger and better pastures,
So
retirement.
I was gonna say, I figured it was your.
Yeah, it's a nice
Lucky.
pasture, by the
It's a
way.
nice
It is.
Hearing-
Feels sad.
Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, under business, 8A, motion to approve the sponsorship agreement between National Bank of Commerce and Independent School District 695 for sponsorship, naming, and/or logo rights associated with the new gymnasium as presented. Our activities director, Mr. Bakke, is here. I ask that he step up to the podium if you have any questions or you would like to add anything.
Hi,
Hi.
unlike Mr. Hake, you're gonna have me for about 30 more years.
We're happy to hear that.
We'll have to put up a new building.
Hopefully not. But hopefully I'll be able to have sponsorships like this come through, during that time period. This is our first major sponsorship. NBC and us started talking a couple of years ago, actually, and finally got it to a fruition. And so the $200,000 mark that we agreed to is based upon funds that we have in their bank. And it's good for a 10-year period. And so I don't have the color sheet, but you can see on that color sheet that I gave you all with the scoreboard, the logo itself will be under the video board in a box, and it'll be blue and match the video board. So that's the agreement we came to, and that's the number we came to, and all we need is your approval and a signature. Unless I'm wrong on that. Unless you have anything to add.
Nope.
Okay, my burning question is,
Yes,
and I didn't quite get an answer on this, I asked before, but, that's 200,000,
Mhm.
that's it? No more coming next year or the following year, or,
correct. It's a lump sum payment of 200,000.
okay, the 14,000, that's coming out of your budget or whose budget?
Well, you want me to do that now or when we get to the
Yeah,
next
go,
item?
yeah, go ahead, that's item 8B.
Okay,
Might as
sure.
well discuss that.
Yeah, so, I guess it's up in the air, and I say up in the air because technically it's gonna come out of, right now it would come out of FF&E. However, based on the agreement for the scoreboards with Daktronics, right now we have to pay 30% upfront. So we're gonna get 200,000 and we're only gonna have to pay out about 65-ish thousand right now.
Okay.
And so then that money will just sit with us until August when they actually do the installation. And then when they do the installation, 60% has to be paid once that's completed. And then after a year of warranty, I think the last 10% gets paid. So we don't have to pay the 214,000 like tomorrow, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So in the meantime of that, we have the FF&E budget, worst case scenario. Best case scenario, I have a meeting with US Steel on Thursday. Where I'll be asking them for some sponsorship. I have, already have a request in with Cleveland Cliffs Foundation.
Okay.
So I'm anticipating we'll get something there. And then I also have a meeting on March 3rd where I invited, community businesses to come in and hear our sponsorship opportunities. So I fully believe that we'll have more than that accounted for by the time it has to be paid, so that it doesn't come out of FF&E at all, is my goal. But worst case scenario, that's where it would come out.
So this is just for the new gym? All
This is
of
for the
this.
new gym.
How about the football field?
Yeah.
That next?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different, I understand, this is
Yeah.
for the new gym.
That
and
is
it'll
my
be
goal.
installed in the new gym when the new gym is ready.
Correct, yeah, and the football field is my next project. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll have
Yeah.
a better grasp on that.
Thank you, sir.
You are
We
very
have to
welcome.
fully own that before we can start getting grants.
Yeah.
Well, all we need
Yeah.
is a signature, everything else is done. So,
And
Mine
I
might be on there, we might be good.
do have to commend Mr. Baki, he's been working very hard on
Thanks,
this,
Travis.
these sponsorship agreements.
Yes.
And we're not original to this, other communities have done this, but it is new, basically, within our school district, and hopefully we'll be able to add on to that and get additional fundings, as Director Raha mentioned, the new scoreboard, hopefully up at the football field and maybe some new sod or something like that.
so, and just so you know, this, the 200,000 and this agreement with Daktronics does include the football scoreboard. The name on it won't be NBC, it'll be something else, but it is included in this packet. So that 214,000 does at minimum cover the football scoreboard.
Okay.
Oh,
I thought I saw that in the.
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, it's nice to get it all included into one, and then we're not picking away at it, you know what I'm saying?
Other
Okay.
stuff Travis would like to see is lights, which makes sense.
Yeah.
This recrowning of the field,
Yeah.
the new
Track.
track.
Yeah, on the backside.
All really important
Yes.
things too.
Yes.
But
So far,
That's how
it's
I
been
understood it right there, so.
That field is very important. It is.
It is really
Very.
nice, Travis,
That's
to
right.
have, for the new gym, to have,
Mhm.
new scoreboard, new tables, I mean, we get,
Yeah.
it'll be really nice.
Yeah.
In other words,
Very
these things that we'd be
Yeah.
like trying
Good,
to
Travis.
piece together year after year, so it's just kind of.
PA systems.
Yeah, yeah, that's all included in this, you know, it's the
All
sound
you get
system,
is-
yeah, our legendary PA announcer. Mr. Casey.
It's not Dennis Novoselic, is it?
No.
Reverting back to item 8A, I'd entertain, hearing no other discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion for the sponsorship agreement between the between the school district and National Bank of Commerce.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Director Rhonda Sauter,
Support.
support by Director Lappy. Any other discussion? Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8B, motion to approve the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract with Amy Electronics in the amount of $214,818 for the gymnasium video, scores tables, scoreboards, and stadium scoreboard as presented.
I will motion approval.
Motion by Director Raha,
Thanks, Board.
support by Director Crowdy Simon. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Travis.
Mr.
I'd
Bachman.
like to thank Travis for all this extra work. I mean,
Yeah.
he's done a marvelous job, you know, and sometimes we don't hear what he's doing. So it's nice when you can show up once in a while and let us know. I appreciate what you do.
I don't like to toot my own horn, that's not really my MO, so,
Well,
but thank you,
I'll blow mine and, you know, it'll be flat.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks for all you do for the kids.
Item 8C, motion to adopt the early childhood family education school readiness voluntary pre-kindergarten fee schedule starting with the 2025-2026 school year.
So made.
Motion by Director Lappy,
Support.
support by Director Crowdy Simon. Any discussion?
No, this is what Don presented at the last meeting, I thought it was really
Right.
reasonable, and it had the, sliding fee scale for, income based. So I think it's a good starting point, and
Yeah, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You're right.
We can't continue to operate at a deficit.
well,
No.
and a bigger and bigger deficit each year. So it's a great,
This
it's a
is
great
just-
service, and it's very good education, early childhood education, so it's,
Hopefully this will slow the roll.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Items D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. I went to Chisholm High Schools. I'll be, well. These are the policies we have discussed in the last couple of meetings. I will go through them one at a time, however, we'll accept one motion to approve them all. And if so choose, you can extract one out. Approve policy 701, establishment and adoption of the school district budget. Policy 702, accounting. Policy 703, annual audit. Policy 705, investments. Policy 706, acceptance of gifts. Policy 710, extracurricular transportation accounting. Policy 712, video surveillance other than on buses. Policy 713, student activity accounting. Policy 714, fund balances. Policy 720, vending machines. Policy 721, uniform grant guidance policy regarding federal revenue sources. And policy 722, public data and data subject requests.
I'll motion approval on all of them.
Motion by Director Raha,
support.
support by Director Crowdy Simon. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9. Any discussion that the directors would like to bring to the table?
I have one thing, Mr. Chairman, I got a catalog in the Northeast Service Co-op about cooperative purchasing. And in that catalog, there are things that we can purchase, it's under contract, it's just like the scoreboard and stuff like that. It's through the Northeast Service Co-op with a discount.
Yeah, discount, okay.
Furniture, track resurfacing, gym floors,
Nice.
things like that. So now my understanding is that Luke Fortenauer from Ingenza is kind of pushing this. You can pick from any service co-op in the state of Minnesota, but we have one right here.
Right.
And they all get the same price, so this is something that, you know, you can review it if something comes up, if you have questions or whatever. Susie Rupert runs this program at the Northeast Service Co-op, and she's very good at it. And she is volunteered if necessary to come and explain it to us if we need to, so that's why I handed out that catalog and just for information for everybody that wants to take a look at it. Yes, and Noah has one too.
Yeah, and I think what they do is they do part of the legwork for us. They go out and get the state bids, which then we don't have to get competitive bids from everybody.
Mhm.
Did you email that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you got it,
Yeah.
okay, perfect, I was gonna say, I think that's great, if you can
Yeah.
go through a place that, again, is doing it for a bunch of different schools, and you get better pricing that way.
Exactly.
Those are big ticket items that would be great to get any discount.
Exactly,
Mhm.
so
Whatever
again,
it may be.
it's just another little thing to be
Cognizant.
a member of the Northeast Service
Yes.
Co-op board.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
might as well try and take advantage of it.
Mhm.
Mr. Chair, Bob brought that in. I looked at it and the first page I opened to was that electronics. So I immediately brought it to Mark. I said, find out right now that Travis got that deal for the scoreboards. They immediately checked the numbers. I don't know. if-
It's just a different co-op, so we went to, you know,
Yeah.
Sourcewell, which is a co-op in
Yeah.
the
So you get the
network.
discount, okay.
Yep, so it was, yeah.
Although Northeast did not get any credit for that, you know. It's okay,
But now
it's
we
all
know.
right, it all
Now
works.
We know, but it is
Yeah.
fine, that's
That's
a good
okay.
thing to be, that's a good thing to be like that, so.
Mhm.
Anything else? Just a couple of things, had a discussion with some of the PTA members, they're looking for room to store things. And I don't think my answer to them was, let's just wait and see until the new building is finished, because obviously if we're gonna start in this building, it's gonna disappear anyway. So, also, I still get a number of questions on a 4-day school week. I don't know if Mr. Pelletier has anything about that, but somebody's gonna have to show me, as I tell everybody, somebody's gonna have to show me the savings.
Yeah.
Other than in transportation and possibly the increase in grades because they're in 4 days. I'm not against it, I'm not for it, it's just, I've just gotta see it.
It's one of those things where you don't quite know how it's gonna work,
Yeah,
and
it's interesting.
maybe we watch Mountain Iron and see how they do it.
I was just gonna say, maybe we should just watch the neighboring districts, see how
Yeah,
and
just-
see how that
I
goes
mean-
before. I don't wanna be home with my kids on Friday, sorry guys.
I don't know if there's that many districts that have been doing it long enough, where, like you said, I guess I'd like to see the effect on just like education, are you really seeing, better performance, or is it good for older kids, because then they have more time to do work, I get that, but is it
The
like for the younger kids that maybe
Parents
use the
who are
structure?
working,
Yeah, how much more difficult is it to find daycare on a Friday, so we're Sunday to Friday, I don't know.
and are they really gonna save money if they're then offering childcare on that Friday?
Right.
Like, where's your
school's offering
savings, like
childcare.
what's,
Yeah.
I mean,
just think-
I'd like to see
question
how all that
questions.
structures out,
Yeah.
because and I know our community's lost another daycare, so I mean, that childcare is a huge thing. For these
I just
youngsters.
thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be discussing it at later meetings. So,
The superintendent from Mountain Iron did a community survey
Mhm.
and came out in favor. Staff survey came out in favor, students, everything came out in favor, so they rolled the dice. And, I'll find out. I know one of the board members at Mountain Iron very well, so.
Well, and it sounds like they did the same survey for the St. Louis County schools too.
I don't think so.
They-
It's just Mountain
They
Iron.
did a survey for
They
the.
did? Oh,
It went out to teachers.
Lovely. Item 10, you see our enrollment numbers, again, we're staying pretty steady, actually. Which is a good thing. Seeing no other business before us, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
so made.
Motion by Director,
Support.
support by Director Ann Sauter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, time is 5:45.